Hello, second grade. I hope everybody is doing well and staying safe. We are going to be doing a little bit of math right now. So if you do not have out pages 535 and 536, you may want to pause this video to get out those pages in your math workbook. Again, that's page 535 and 536. But before we get started on 535 and 536, I wanted to go ahead and show you an example that I have. Now, you don't have this in your book, so you just simply have to watch the screen for right now. So what my screen says, it says students were surveyed about their favorite insect. The results are shown in the tally chart. We have to use the tally chart to make a picture graph. Now, a picture graph is exactly how it sounds. So, for example, it says type of insect, and the very first one, it says beetle. And my tallies show 3. Well, I would come over here beside beetle, and I would actually draw 3 beetles, because that's how many we had all together. So, a picture graph is simply just drawing a picture of what it tells you to do. Now, I know not everybody likes to draw, or some students don't think they're an artist, but I think you should try and see how it goes. However, if you guys want to do simpler pictures like using circles or using X's, that's okay too if you don't think you want to draw. So this next one says B, and if I count all my tally marks, I would see that there are 6 in total of students who thought their favorite insects were bees. So I would come over to the B column, and I would draw 6 bees. And here's butterfly. It looks like 7 students, that's their favorite insect, is butterfly. So I would go over to butterfly, and I would draw 7 butterflies. I'll show you what that looks like. So as you can see, these are pictures, not drawings, but there are 3 pictures of beetles because 3 students said that that was their favorite insect. There are 6 pictures of bees because 6 students said that that was their favorite insect. And then there are 7 pictures of butterflies because 7 students said that was their favorite insect. So that's just a brief example about the lesson that we are going to be talking about and going over today. So I wanted to show you that little example before we just dived into our workbook page. Okay, we are now going to go ahead and be on page 535. So if you read at the bottom of your page, on page 535, this is what it says. It says that I'm supposed to ask 5 classmates to pick their favorite lunch food, and we are supposed to draw a picture in the chart to show each person's choice. Now, this chapter is a little bit difficult because sometimes it has a lot of questions like that about asking the students or taking a survey. And that's a little bit harder since we're not in the classroom to discuss these awesome questions that they have. So I went ahead and asked 5 people that I know, and those are the results that we're going to use. Okay? So, let me get out my writing tool that I have. Okay. So, this right here is the picture graph that I was showing you earlier. So, right now we're not going to be doing tally marks. We would just be drawing pictures. All right. I will tell you, I'll put a number beside of it so we can keep track. The 5 people I asked, there were 3 people who said pizza was their favorite lunch food. There was 1 person who said a hot dog was their favorite lunch food. And then 1 other person said that a sandwich was their favorite lunch food. I actually didn't have anybody that said soup was their favorite lunch food. Now, I am drawing using my computer, and drawing is a little bit tough on my computer, so I'm not actually going to draw pictures of a sandwich or pizza or hot dog, but if you guys would like to draw pictures of sandwiches and pizza and hot dog, you guys are more than welcome to do that, okay? So, for sandwich, one person said that was their favorite lunch food, so we would draw one picture of a sandwich. And I am just going to draw a square for a sandwich since I am drawing on my computer. The next one says pizza, and like I told you guys, it says 3 people said that pizza was their favorite lunch food. So I'm just going to do, or I will try to do 3 triangles, and those are going to be my pizzas. And remember, this graph that we are doing is called a picture graph because we are drawing pictures. And then my last one is a hot dog. I will just draw a circle for the hot dog. But like I said, if you guys want to actually draw pictures of hot dogs, you are more than welcome to. And then for soup, I didn't have anybody that said soup was their favorite lunch food, so I do not have to have any pictures for soup. Now, these are the people that I asked, but if we were in class, I would probably take a survey like we did in the last lesson, and I'd take a survey by asking questions for the students in our class about their favorite lunch food rather than asking my family or my friends. So you should have 1 picture drawn of a sandwich, 3 pictures drawn of pizza, and 1 picture drawn for a hot dog. So think of some questions that we could use with this picture graph. Some questions you might think of would be, well, what was the most favorite lunch food out of all 4 of these? What was the least favorite lunch food? And if you look at the pictures on that graph, you should be able to answer those questions. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and turn the page, and we are going to be on the back of your guided practice. And that is page 536. So remember, the words in yellow are normally vocabulary words, and they're normally words that are important to know, right? So this guided practice, I'll read it to you first. It says, you show data with a picture graph. The pictures are a symbol for the data. So when I was doing a picture graph earlier, my symbols were the squares, triangles, and the circles. Those were the symbols that I used to represent the pizza, the sandwiches, the hot dogs. So anytime there are pictures inside of a graph and we've asked some type of question to see what students like what, that is a picture graph. This little helpful hint right here says the key tells how many each symbol stands for. So it looks like this says key. Each marble equals 1 vote. So if I see 1 circle, like I do right here for blue, that means that 1 circle is 1 vote. But as you can see, there are 1, 2, 3 circles for blue, and there are 1, 2, 3 circles for red. So that means there are 3 votes for blue and 3 votes for red. Each symbol represents a vote that a student or a family member said. So when I drew my 3 triangles for my pizzas, those were 3 different votes. Okay, here's the bottom of your guided practice. It says, as number 1, it says use the tally marks to make a picture graph. So it looks like it was about our favorite shoes. So I'll read it to you. The first one is tennis shoes. The second one is flip-flops. And the third one is boots. So let's look at tennis shoes. If I count the tally marks for tennis shoes, there are 1, 2, 3 tally marks. So that means I need to draw 1, 2, 3 tennis shoes. And remember my key down here, it says key. Each shoe is 1 vote. So in each box I should draw 1 shoe. Not 2, but just 1. As I was telling you guys earlier, it's a bit difficult for me to draw those cool pictures that I know you guys can draw on my computer because I'm using my finger. If you guys would like to put more detail into your picture graphs, you can even color them if you want to. You are more than welcome to do that. It is just a little bit difficult for me to, so I'm going to make my pictures a little bit more simple. So for tennis shoes, I am going to stick with shapes. So for tennis shoes, I'm going to use a square. And again, we counted the tally marks, 1, 2, 3. So that means I should have 3 tennis shoes in each box. Or 1 tennis shoe in each box. 3 altogether. So here is 1 tennis shoe, 2 tennis shoes, and 3 tennis shoes altogether. So I'll count them again to be sure. 1, 2, 3. I go back up to the top of my graph and I count my tally marks again. It says 1, 2, 3. So good, it definitely matches. So we want to make sure that we double check our work and that each graph says the same thing. Because sometimes we can miscount, so it's important that we just check again. Let's look at flip-flops. If I count my tally marks, it looks like it is 1, 2, 3, 4, but you can't forget to use that little slant because that counts as a tally mark also. So it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that means there are 5 people who said that their favorite shoe was flip-flops. So we need to make sure we have 5 flip-flops in our picture graph. My flip-flops are just going to be circles. So I'm going to have 1 flip-flop, 2 flip-flops, 3 flip-flops, 4 flip-flops, and 5 flip-flops. Good thing 6 people did not say that they had their favorite shoe as flip-flops because we would have ran out of room. And then if you go to your last one, boots, it looks like there is 1 tally mark. So that means that 1 tally mark is 1 vote. So 1 person said that their favorite shoe was boots. So for the boots, for my picture graph, I'm going to draw a triangle. But if you would like to draw an actual boot, then you may. Okay, and there is my picture graph. I can go back through and double check my work to make sure the tally chart that I have at the top actually matches the picture graph because that's important. You don't want graphs that are supposed to be the same that say 2 different things. So I'm going to count my tennis shoes. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that matches the number 3 too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, there's the number 5 right there. And boots is 1, and if I look, I can see that there was just 1 person that said their favorite shoe was boots. Now it is time for you all to try to do page 537 and 538. At the bottom of your page, on page 536 though, before we move on, there's a question that says, how are picture graphs different from tally charts? How are picture graphs different from tally charts? Now, this isn't something you need to write down, but if there is a parent or adult watching this with you, I would like you to tell that parent or adult how picture graphs are different from tally charts. And then after you get finished with these 2 pages that we've gone over, it'll be your turn to do page 537 and 538 for the independent practice. I hope you all have a wonderful day.